Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. We are still working with the Words for the Season set and using the Christmas season cards and envelopes along with the Christmas tags and more designer series paper. So what I've got here is more of a non-traditional color card. It's on Pretty in Pink. And this is a piece of the designer series paper. The dots are actually white, so I went over it with a blending brush and Pretty in Pink, so it was pink. And then we've got a little bit of bling here, and this is the dies and the stamp from the Words for the Season. So non-traditional, we're going to do traditional. So what have we got? We have got a standard North American card base. I've got one of the card bases from the cards and envelopes set that I've cut down to 5 1/4 by 4. And that's going to go down. And then I've got 2 pieces of cherry cobbler. This is just under a 1/2 inch. And I've run it through the Forever Plaid embossing folder, just so that it kind of mimics the plaid here and isn't quite so plain. And then I've got the To You and Yours stamped in the Garden Green, which is also the card base here. And I have die cut the Merry Christmas. Again, this is Holiday Wishes, and I'm doing Merry Christmas on this one. So I'm just going to move this one out of the way, give myself a bit more space. And then I'm just going to add my card front down here. Equal top, bottom, and sides, and then it goes down nice and even. And then I'm just going to put down my cherry cobbler that I've run through the folder. And these, again, just under 1/2 inch or so. And I'm just putting this down so that it doesn't cover up the gold stripe. I'm just going to pop that down like that, and it's a little bit long, so I'm just going to trim that piece right off the top there. There we go. So this one's going to be long as well then, so I'm just going to measure it up, and I just need to trim just that little bit off the top. So I'll do that before I glue it down. Okay, and we're just going to add some adhesive. There we go. A little bit more on the end there. And I'm just popping this down again, just on the other side. I just wanted those gold lines to show. So that's what I'm doing here. There we go. So that's got our interest piece down. Now I'm going to take out my dies. Now you'll notice that the dot is still in the eye. I want the dot to stay in the eye for the Christmas, and I'll show you how I adhere those. And I've put the adhesive backing on these so that it makes it easier. I'm just going to, before I peel that apart, I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to peel the rest out. Because the first letter is not adhered to the rest, I kind of want to line up the rest before I put the first letter down, just so I make sure that I am in the right place. So I'm doing these at an angle, or I did this one at an angle. I'm going to do this one straight. So that one's going to go there like that. And I'm just using my poke tool to remove the backing, and I'm going to peel it very slowly so I don't distort the greeting at all. And we're going to put this like this, and then we'll peel the backing off the M, and then we'll put the Christmas down, and I will show you how I get the I to be in the right place so that I don't lose it. It's actually a good thing that it stays in the die. And I'm just going to put this on my poke tool just so that I can kind of start placing it down before I actually adhere it. Okay, so that one's going to go like that. Okay, now we're going to put the Christmas down. So we're just going to lift that out. Okay, so we've got the C, and then we're going to lift the rest out. And, oh, one thing I do need to tell you about the other card, and I'll remember to do that at the end. Okay, so we're just going to peel this, backing off like this, very slowly so that we don't distort again. Okay. Okay, I've managed to really twist this around, so I'm going to be very careful when I put this down. So this is going to go here, and then I'm just going to kind of make sure that I'm kind of manipulating where it's going, because it did really kind of bend out of shape. So there we go. So we've got the Merry Christmas there. Let's take the C and pop it down. And then peel the backing off. I like the font in these dies. It's a little fancy, but it's not so fancy you can't actually read it. Because some of the fancier fonts you really have to struggle to read. Okay, so we're going to pop this down like this. And we have to do that eye. Now the eye is still in the die, the dot. So I'm just going to peel the back off. So you can, it's still there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this back over, and it'll almost kind of click into place. And then I'm just going to use my pokey tool to poke that dot of the eye down. Now, what I wanted to remember to tell you about this one is this die cuts out holidays. So like happy holidays, but I wanted holiday wishes. So I just trimmed the S off. So that's what I need to remember to tell you. So I've remembered to tell you that now. And I don't know what it is about me, but I always end up with everything low on the card. But we're going to carry on like that. I'm going to put my little to you and yours. And I used the banner die in the set to cut it out. And peel our backing off there. I'm using the mini dimensionals. So I could say to you and yours, Merry Christmas, but I'm going to put to you and yours down lower here. And if I were to do this again, I would shift everything up a little bit so that it's kind of more central. But it's fine as it is. And I am going to use, this is the traditional sparkling gems. And I've got a full sheet, but this was the half sheet that I got at a retreat this weekend. So I need to decide if I'm going to use the gold or the red pieces. And I think I might use the red, because I'm just going to pop one down like that, and then I'm going to peel off a gold one and see how that looks. I'm going to use the red, and I'm using the red because it's going to tie our cherry cobbler piece in just a little bit better. And the nice thing about these is they're sequins, so they're basically flat, so they're not going to get in the way when you're mailing. I am going to add one more just kind of up here, just to kind of bring the eye up a little bit to make this seem a little bit more central. Anyway, that's our two cards. We've got our non-traditional and we've got our more traditional colors using the Christmas season cards and envelopes, the Christmas tags and more designer series paper, and those words for the season, the dies and the stamps. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.